Well. Friends of Twitch. Today, my stream has decided to be extremely laggy, so I'm currently fixing that. That's probably because I'm importing a 3.5 gigabyte file into my database, which I left until the last minute. So please give me a moment to try and save my OBS from killing itself. It's pretty bad. My laptop has limited resources available to it, and I'm using all of them, it seems, right now. On top of that, I wanted to offer a new channel point reward today. Not the challenge, because the challenge hasn't been fulfilled yet, but something else. And I need to figure out if that's possible, because I don't know if it's possible, to be very honest, because it won't accept my image. Twitch is saying it doesn't like this image, which I don't really understand. It's just the save icon is just endless looping, Mac spinny wheel thinging. Also, I think our Discord bot has failed to announce in the Claw Discord, that is this Discord, in case you're wondering. I think it has failed to announce that I'm streaming, which is very likely because it's PantherBot, and well, Panther's on holiday for a month. She's not streaming for a month. So PantherBot has probably also decided to go on strike, which would make sense, actually. Would make sense. So let me just see if I can finish sorting this out. In the meantime, everybody can tell me what kind of weekend they had, because I had one of the best weekends I've had in a very long time. So, okay, that's not really true, actually. I had a very good weekend. My previous weekend was also very good because I was at a spa. But this weekend was also very nice because I spent 3 days with my family, specifically my parents, at their house in the Italian part of Switzerland. Because I hadn't really spent time with them this past year and a half. Because I don't know if you're aware, but there's this bug going around. And so we had avoided getting together so far as a family. It's also quite far away, so can't just pop over there for a little visit, you know, and hang around outside. It's a little bit more complicated. Also, when you have pets like we do, we have a bunny, hence the challenge for channel points. We should check the status on that. Where are we at now? 86% raised with 7 days left, which means if there's a stream on Friday, which there will be, of course, then you have this stream and next stream to redeem that challenge and get a bunny cam as a channel point reward. And that's not the channel point reward I'm trying to get set up right now. That's a different one. Oh, now it accepted it. Strange. In any case, yeah, so I spent the weekend at my parents' place, which was very nice. Ah, file too large. Oh my gosh. It's 2 kilobytes too large. Image size reducer. I'm just going to reduce the size of this image. And I just realized how bright the screen is. This is really... Alan, thank you for contributing more points to the bunny cam challenge. We are now at 87% raised, which is, because it's a 100,000 goal, it's very easy to calculate. We have 87,672 channel points. If I were to, you know, if we didn't reach the deadline, then you would get all of your channel points back. And I dread to think about some people who've like submitted 16,000 points or something. I dread to think what they will do with those 16,000 points. Yeah, I'm terrified of that, actually. So, okay, PNG 0% quality will resent in the... What the... I don't want to resize. How many points do you get per hour? Like 225 or something. So a non-sub, I think, should be around 220 an hour. Something like that. That's what Twitch says anyway. It's obviously... It's always rough, you know. It's not super accurate. But it's around 220, 225 an hour. So your number was pretty close, Alan. Yeah. But you as a sub, I think, get more. Because you earn points as a sub. I think you're at 1.2x multiplier when you're a tier 1 sub. When you're a tier 2 sub, I believe you're at 1.5. And at tier 3, which is, let's say, it's unheard of to have tier 2 or tier 3 subs anyway, really. You're at a 2x multiplier. And I know that I'm a 2x multiplier because I can see on my own channel I'm a 2x multiplier. Because on your own channel, you're always a tier 3 sub. Which is nice, so it means you always have at least one tier 3 sub. Gaston, nice to see you. I'm fine, thank you. How does everyone like my my light? I got a Philips Hue setup. That was the joke from last stream, by the way. I have a surprise today. I have a surprise for a lot of you, actually. I have several surprises. Let's check how this thing is going. So I started importing something and it was a big mistake. Big mistake, but because it's like 40% done, I don't want to stop it now. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to compress a PNG to save file space. No, I'm trying to compress a PNG because Twitch won't accept it for my channel points image. So you know what? I'm just going to enable it without having the icon there. So if you look, I've just enabled it. If you look in the channel points redemptions, you should see a new redemption called Disco Lights. What I have done, chat, and I'm terrified to think that some people might actually use this. Thank you, Ian, for contributing to the bunny challenge. I appreciate you. I was actually talking to my partner about you today because we thought you might watch, or if you do not watch it yet, there it is. Thank you for the 50 bits part, Ian. If you do not watch it yet, you may enjoy the show Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. It seems like it would be your kind of humor. 1 million to highlight a message. Yeah, I explained that last week actually about why I put 1 million. I won't go through the whole explanation again. It's very simple. It's I don't like to... I could probably find the clip somewhere, but basically I don't feel like anyone should have the feeling like their message is more important than someone else's. That's the thing, Gaston. Basically, everyone who is here is equally important to me. So 1 million to highlight a message, I had to leave it in there because people asked where it was sometimes when it wasn't there, because it's one of the standard Twitch ones. So, you know, interesting. I like it. I'm glad you like it. So if you're curious about what Disco Lights does, I'm going to demonstrate it now for you. This is a Philips Hue, which means that there is a piece of software that allows me to interact with what's on my screen, video or audio. It can also be games. And so there's a desktop tool that you can install, and you can set it up with your lights. And what you can do is basically say, oh, okay, I'm playing some music. I want my light to reflect what I'm playing. And so you can do that. You can just, you might hear a short switch in the audio. And now the light will be moving in sync with the music. And there's different modes. The downside is of this that my webcam goes nuts, and I haven't figured out how to get it stop doing that yet. But you can also put it on different colors. You can set it up to different sensitivity as well. So you can say, oh, I don't like when it's flashing all the time. I want it to just reflect a little bit, you know. I want it to be only warm tones. You can change the color palette. So yeah, the idea is that someone can spend a few of those precious channel points to have their to have this redeemed for a little bit, as you will. Hello D3, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. Glad to see you. Probably setting the color balance to manual instead of auto should help it not freak out. Same with exposure. Yeah, I locked exposure, but I couldn't find the setting for color balance. It's also like some of the settings are not being respected all the time. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to describe that. But anyhow, I just realized the light is the wrong color. We have to go back to the corporate colors. There we go. Data Dev, thank you for booping me on the nose. But yes, Alan, I'm gonna actually try and get the webcam to stop doing automatic stuff. I'm doing good. I got a fever 100 to 101, recovering soon. Oh, I hope that's Fahrenheit, D3, because in Celsius, you did. And thank you, DataDev, for contributing towards Bunny Cam. We're now at 88% race, so I'm confident we'll make it. I'm pretty confident. I mean, it's possible we don't, right? But, you know, I think it's possible. So we're gonna have a look at something, chat. Yes, in Celsius I would evaporate. Absolutely. So if you were here last week, that's great. I'm glad you were here last week. If you were not here last week, then you may have missed something. And I think that's a bit of a shame. So this weekend, I took the opportunity to create a highlights video. Yes, also D3, in case that wasn't implied, I hope you feel better soon, by the way. I'm sorry to hear that you have a fever. But you say you're doing well, you're doing good, so I trust you. Yeah, so if you weren't here last week, then you might have missed something. And so what I've done is I've actually used this weekend where I was largely horizontal, to be fair. I was just chilling. Ian, did you just throw a paper ball at me? That's normally reserved for Panther. But it, you know, makes sense to me. I don't know, it just says someone redeemed it. I don't see. I just assume it was you. Yeah, so I thought to myself, well, it would be quite a shame if someone wasn't here last week and they didn't have a chance to see what went on last week, because we had a great 3-hour stream, and today I'm picking up where I left off from last time. That's not so... It's a little bit unusual, let's say. There are streams where we've had like multi-streams and where we continue and stuff, but, you know, I kind of got the idea in between, and I thought to myself, well, you know, instead of doing something new every week, which happens very often, I could actually, you know, pick up something from last time. Oho reversed for... Oh. What do you mean by that, Data Dev? I'm confused. That's also quite normal. Yeah, so I made a highlights video, which is like a little bit unusual for me, because I normally don't spend time editing my videos. I just plop them on YouTube and that's where they go. But today I am proud, actually, to say that I have created an edited YouTube video. E3, Matty, I need a consult. What should I do when I feel low, not in the mood to work, or being lazy? What's the solution? You probably don't want to hear my answer. The answer is, it's okay to feel like that sometimes. It's okay to have days where you feel down. It's okay where you have days where you don't feel like doing anything at all, where you don't feel productive. Because what you do on that day is you say to yourself, today I'm going to take care of myself. I'm not going to do those things. Yes, if you have commitments, you should do those things. So if you have something important that needs to be done, I mean really important, I'm not talking about work, I'm talking about really important, like you need to feed your dog, then you should do those things. But everything else can wait until tomorrow, when you feel better. Because tomorrow is another day. And that's what I do. That's my tactic. I'm being totally honest. 100%. So chat, I'd like to watch the YouTube video with you. It seems a bit silly, but it's only 3.5 minutes. Oh, Ian. Thank you for the 100 bits. It's much appreciated. It's only 3.5 minutes, but I'd like to watch it with you. If you'd like to watch it on your own afterwards, you can do the YouTube command in chat, and there's the link to the video. It's on my channel on YouTube, so you can find it anyway. Hello, Chillaxathor. We are about to watch the highlights from last week so that everyone can understand what we're actually going to be doing this week. And we're going to frame it inside DataGrip because we are a bunch of nerds. And that's really true. So what I need to do is I need to pause the music. I need to switch scenes in OBS to this one. No animation. And we are going to watch the short 3.5 minute summary of last week's stream. Last Monday, because there was no stream on Friday. And if you'd like the link, I can do the command in chat. Why not? And I hope the volume is okay. Once I start the video, you can tell me if the volume is too high or too low. I'm going to monitor it, but here we go. I don't have a problem with animals. I have a problem with animals being in science and tech, because it's not science and it's not technology when you have a webcam of a farm. This clip is no longer available. What happened there? Volume up a little, sure. But you see, Fitch isn't Twitch. Fitch. Twitch's alternative name was Fitch. Like if you say I want a party, then they'll probably take all the tracks that are like danceability above 90 or something. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Popularity 70. Oh. Well, that's a lot faster, isn't it? England. This seems really dirty.
My name is Karen.
Regex is just magic. Oh. I just hit 99.48. No! Not rigged. No, not rigged. Not rigged. I promise. It's not rigged. Because we have a full data set, we can actually paste this into one table. Maddie, so you are saying armadillos drink chocolate milk. I think I get it. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Ian, I don't even understand what that means. I don't even understand what that means. I still don't. I'm so confused. And now I'll have a table called full GB, which has everything in it. Ta-da! Nobody makes money streaming inside in tech on Twitch. Yeah, I make a like pocket money, that pays for my snacks on stream, let's say. So we spent an hour doing data cleansing and the drop game, which is pretty epic. Not. So that doesn't seem like a lot of tracks. But what I want to figure out is like, I want to bucket them into groups. See that? That's my name, yo. Oh no! There's a mistake. I still haven't fixed it. Chat is, of course, always welcome to give input and things. Well, this one takes a while still. So if I don't hear any suggestions from chat, I'm gonna have to put some in myself. And that's boring. Yeah, there's some serious pressure there. Chat, what is wrong with you today? What is up? What is up with you, chat? Y'all are like, my brain is fried. I can't do anything today. My brain no workies. Come on, chat. So what TS Vector can do is basically it splits out all these things into individual lexemes. So you see here, acid is all one, and house is 2, rock is 2, etc. We would. Oh my gosh, Aisha! Aisha, thank you for the raid. That's very appreciated. We are just watching a summary of last week's stream. Welcome in, raiders. You can find the video on YouTube. I won't go back and play the whole thing. How was your stream, Aisha? I'm just gonna finish the video here. I'll just go back a few seconds so we can get that. So you see here, acid is all one, and house is 2, rock is 2, etc. We would need to go through, we would need to write like a loop that goes through all the different ones. What if we just map these to a parent? That's very, very difficult. I don't think that's something I can solve in one night, unfortunately. I think I'm gonna call it there, chat. Well, well, well. So I hope you enjoyed that little look back at last week's progress. Let me just catch up on chat. I see that some people were talking about regex and having 2 problems. So I use regex to solve 1 problem. Now I have 2 problems. Data Dev and Alan, it sounds like you did the same thing, to be honest. So Aisha, thank you for the raid. I really appreciate it. You've been doing Rust with child codes. Ooh, that's something I know zippity-doo-dah about, but that sounds very cool. I only know Rust the game because a lot of big streamers play it. But I also know it's a programming language. I actually read an article that was talking about Rust as a more obscure programming language, and that some malware programmers are turning to more obscure languages like Go and Rust because there's less people who can write programs to detect malware in those languages. Something like this. And I see that everybody's welcoming in the raiders. That is very good. Very, very good. Oh, I missed the Pokemon reference. Good catch there, Jacob. I didn't catch that. Thank you for subbing on YouTube. Yeah, you really don't have to. I'm not, if you want to catch the VODs on there, then go ahead and sub. Like, I'm not trying to build a YouTube or something like that, but it can be useful to get notified. I'm really behind on the VODs. I'll just tell you that now. I've had folks drop into chat thinking I'm working on the game. Oh, wow. Yeah. Is Rust built in Rust? D3 says I know Rust from chemistry class. Oh, that's such a dad joke, but I like it. Oh, that's such a good one. Amdev, welcome. Sorry, I just saw your message. I'd been scrolling chat. Get 500 points and you can throw a paper ball at me. Yeah, that's true. You can. So chat, yeah, I hope that was a good summary of last week. We've been analyzing music, and basically we got to the point where, let me show you where we got to. Okay, this is our database of Spotify tracks. Granted, it's just the UK ones. I'll come to that in a moment. Oh, Amdev, you suggested the raid. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, that is top tier dad joke material. Really. Like, I know Rust from chemistry class. That's a great one, D3, really. If Rust was built in Rust, it would be pretty hilarious, to be honest. So yeah, if you have any comments, by the way, on the YouTube video, if you have like any suggestions or something about how to change doing the highlights, so I went from like three hours and a bit stream down to about 3.5 minutes. I think that's all right. I didn't want to make it too long. The original cut was like 8 minutes with all the clips that I wanted to have in there, and then I just had to be very strict about which ones were top tier, high quality diamond material for my chat. Thank you for the follow. Now, that's a lot of I's in your name. So I had to be really strict with the material, but I got it done. Honestly, clipping through the video was the thing that took the most amount of time. I don't like watching myself after stream. I'll be honest with you, chat. Anyway, so we have this database of all the England tracks in there. And what we did last time is we ended up with this kind of thing. Let me just show you what this looks like. So we have like, let me explain how I got to the genre. So the genre here in this dataset is not classified by track, but each artist has several genres assigned to them. So like T-Pain would be rap, maybe R&B, I don't know. And Ed Sheeran would be pop and maybe something else. And what we did was we took all the artists and looked at all of their tracks and assigned those genres to those tracks. And we ended up with, let's just ignore the Valence group for the moment. Also, I still don't know if it's pronounced Valence or Valence. Feel free to let me know in chat if you know the actual term. It's something that Spotify uses to denote happiness of a track. Yeah, so we ended up with all these groups of artists. The problem is we have 74 genres. So for example, these are all, sorry, we have a lot more than 74. In total, it's way more. In total, it's like 2,000 or something. Let me just check here. We have 1,800 different genres. And you see, like, okay, some of them are a bit, you know, some of them are misspellings, fine. But, you know, if you just look at something like jazz, there's like 70 variants of jazz. And the problem is that I didn't know how to group these, as you saw at the end of the YouTube video. I didn't know of a way to group these together so that I could start actually figuring out the question that I wanted to answer, which is, do some genres have better happiness ratings than others? Like, if you want to listen to happy music, should you go listen to death metal, or is death metal always sad, according to Spotify? Turns out Rust was originally written in OCaml, but then rewritten in Rust. Wow. Okay, so it is rewritten in Rust. Rust is in Rust. That's fascinating. It's truly fascinating. That was just a pun on my part, but it's funny that it's true. It's actually pretty funny. Alright, so you may have wondered what this Nyan Cat is doing here. I'll let out my secret. I've been importing the full data set of all the tracks in the background, which is why things are not working properly right now. There's probably some lag and things like that. I'm very, very sorry about that. Can we send links for pronunciation? Yes. Yes, you may. Thank you for asking, Alan. I appreciate it. That's a what moment. Yeah. So essentially, I've been importing all of the tracks I got from Spotify. Google.com search valence, how to pronounce. Sure, let's go for it. Okay. Oh. Hold on a second. So apparently it's...
valence.
Valence. Perfect. Thank you, Alan. I realize I probably could have just Googled it myself. But I appreciate that you went to the trouble to do it for me. That's what streamers are doing, asking chat to do stuff for them. Yeah, I know what you meant. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But F in chat for Alan's typing, because it's very bad today. So essentially, the data set from Spotify is pretty big. That's why it's been importing for, I want to say, 2 hours? I thought it'd be done by now, honestly, but it's okay. Anyway, the data set for just England is 81,000 tracks. Now that's cool, but that's not enough data. Let's be honest. That's just the Spotify UK thing. And I don't know how Spotify works exactly, but for sure, if you're in the UK right now and you have a Spotify account, you have access to more than 81,263 tracks from 10,535 artists, okay? So the idea would be that I wanted to actually link all the tracks with all the artists and do the mapping thing that we did last time where we mapped the genre from the artist to the track. Of course, this has been importing for 2 hours, so that plan went out the window. The window's on that side for me, just so you know. So I had to find something else to do. And I thought I'll show you a YouTube video, so I did. I'm just messing with you, chat. We had a problem, not only with the tracks, because they claim like 70 million. Well, I think we're probably not going to be far off that, Alan, because at the moment we're at 10 million rows, which, before anyone asks, size-wise for my database, I can go to something like 30 million, I think. Should be fine. The thing is, the main limitation is not number of rows, it's actually the processing power, because if you have 1 million rows and then you compute something that requires each row to be parsed twice, you're actually computing 2 million rows. If you do that with 10 million, it's obviously 20 million. And then if you have several computations in the same query, you could easily get to 6-7 times the original data set. Are you running this on your machine? Yes, I am. The specs are okay for a laptop, let's be honest. So I have a link to my gear if you want to take a look. This is a 2019 MacBook Pro with 64 gigs RAM. It's pretty beefy. It has a 8 physical core, which is 16 virtual because they're hyper-threaded. So it is very beefy. So for the things that I'm doing while streaming, it's just managing to do them. Eventually, I'll probably have to invest in, if I want to do more streaming or I don't know, more professional streaming, whatever, then I'll probably have to have a streaming machine to handle the stream. But we are far away from a 2 PC setup or two machine setup. I wanted to use an old MacBook to handle my stream and just do all the stuff on my computer, because the stream itself is CPU load heavy, mostly GPU though, and to have another dedicated GPU handling that would be easier, but it didn't work yet how I wanted it to. So
wow,
yeah. Aisha, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. That's cool. Very, very cool. Anyhow, so chat, coming back to this problem. We have 74 variants of jazz. Now, we can split out with TS Vector. We can split these into these lexemes. But the issue is still that these individual parts, so for example, classic Japanese jazz has jazz in it, but it's still a variant of jazz, and I wanted to find a way to find a parent or something like that. And not my dad, but just a parent. And chat, I found it. Because, you know, I'm not the first person to wonder about this problem, amazingly. So I'm just going to paste the link in chat of what I found. This is the FMA. And, you know, when you say that, you could obviously say it in a different way. You could say it's the MA dataset for music analysis. And it was created from the International Society for Music Information Retrieval Conference in 2017, the Free Music Archive. And what's really cool about this is they took a they took like a 8,000 tracks, or they took the full size was like 106,000 tracks, and they basically categorized them using some level of machine learning. I don't know exactly what they did. I didn't read it through. And they classified them into 163 genres. And that's cool, but here's the best part. With the parent genre. Yo, that noob! How are you, my friend? So if you were here before, we need to do something. First, we need to shout out Aisha. Thank you very much again for the raid. I really appreciate it. Do go check out Aisha's stream, because that's quality. That is super high quality stuff. Wow, Chilaxathor, 9860? That's almost rig territory. Definitely happy Monday indeed, noob. If you do not know that noob, definitely go check out that noob. Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturdays. That's all the art emote, I tell you. Look at all those hearts in chat. I love how great the science and tech community is. This is why I don't stream and just chatting. That's the only reason. Literally. Of course I could buy a blown up pickle and write your names on it, but why would that be interesting? It's far more interesting to have a cool chat. So they already did this. They did this. They did exactly the thing that I said last week that I hope someone had done, and they did it. They used to infer the genre hierarchy. So basically rock is, I don't know, a main genre, and a subgenre is punk rock. So using this genre's master table, we now have a chance. We have a chance, chat, to actually classify these into a smaller subset of genres, which would help us answer that question. That super old, time-tested question, it's 1 week old, of do certain genres have a certain valence score? Now, you're probably wondering what this means here in this valence group. Valence. Chat last time came up with the namings for the groups, and I know that they're not that great. That's why I was swearing at chat in the YouTube video. But it doesn't matter so much. These are just groupings. It's not a big deal. We have all the queries. We can compute everything again if we want. Don't at me. Don't at me, as Panther would say. So we have this tracks thing importing. I'm gonna let that finish the import in the background. You know, I'm just gonna let it be there. But what I want to do now is incorporate this genres table. So this is what I actually imported already. Oh yes, let's go drop everybody. There's a few people here. Let's have a good drop here. When you saw Noob in the chat, you forgot you made a landing. Yeah, that was a pretty good landing. I mean, mine last week was yeah, it was good, but that is definitely amazing. So yeah, see if anyone can hit this one this time. So I know that my import here is causing things to be a bit crazy, but it's going to be done soon. I don't know how many time estimates. Should we run a prediction? We could run a prediction whether the import will finish before top of the hour. That's in 10 minutes. Should we run a prediction, chat? I could run a poll, see if you want to run a prediction. It would be a chance for you to win some channel points. Just saying. It would be one way. As you know, Ian, you can't gamble if you have 0 points. Everyone collect the channel points for the bunny cam. I almost read it as bunny scam. I should be very careful how I call it in the channel point reward, because it's not a scam. And when someone says something isn't a scam, it's not a scam. Definitely. So we could run a prediction. It's currently importing at 656 kilobit per second. So it's here. I think that's around 85%. Around. Thank you for throwing a paper ball at me, Ian. I appreciate it. We could see if it will finish before top of the hour. That's in 9 minutes. I think it's a pretty clear result though, so maybe not. Maybe something for another time. In any case, chat. This is what I got access to. My secret data set. We have a genre ID. So avant-garde is apparently genre ID 1. I don't know how they came up with these IDs, by the way. I think it's random. They have a parent genre ID. So avant-garde is actually under experimental. Interesting. Now experimental is very interesting because the parent genre ID is 0, which doesn't exist. So the ones that have a parent ID 0, they are the parent genres. So let's do where parent genre ID equals 0. We're not going to do intensive queries at the moment because this thing has to finish. These are the parent genres. Remember, I didn't come up with these. It's a machine that did this. What do you think of this? Like, what do you think of this? What do you think of these 16 master genres? I think it's pretty interesting how they came up with this, but essentially, instrumental is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. And it's a top level one. So apparently instrumental is its own genre, which I never really thought about that way. Because what I'm listening to now is instrumental, but it's also electronic. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing. In any case, there are these 16 master genres. So when the parent ID is 0, then we know it's a master. And otherwise, so if we do where parent genre ID, I could have just left that there, I know that now, thank you, is not equal to 0, these are the other genres. So there's 147 here. I wonder why those names aren't numeronymed. That's very hard to say, noob. Why would you make me say this? Why would you make me say this? They're not numeronymed because this isn't Panther's stream. Very simple. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll have numeronyms on stream, and you can numeronym all the words you would like. It just sounds like someone's mumbling something. Panther doesn't hold the trademark for that. That's true. That's true. Now that she's off for a month, I could do whatever I want here. Chillaxathor. Breathe. Breathe. Just breathe. TD! That is quite an entrance. Chat, we have an announcement. In case you're not aware, TD has generated... TD has built a fan website called MattyWho. And I kid you not. I kid you not. We should go to the real version. Hold on a second. Let's go in the browser. I'm gonna do like this because this is super annoying with the flicker thing, I know. Doing this is really annoying. So I'm gonna do like this. Okay. MattyWho. Who. Come on. There we go. That was my sound in Unreal Tournament. Monster Matty. I love that game actually. So TD has built a fan site. And this is very different to OnlyFans. Just to be very clear. This is very different. This is a fan site for all of the possible nicknames for me. Apparently at the moment there are 205,379 total possible nicknames that can be generated by this site, which honestly is just phenomenal. And if there is a shoes top level domain name, I think we should buy it. Oh, there is. How would we how would we register this? $45. Oh god, that's a lot of money. It's available. I can't do this. That's a lot of money. That's like... I agree it's worth it. Oh, I don't know. Can't let someone else buy it. Yeah, it's true. There's like 20 people here. One of them might have bought it by now. 20 euros is 45 francs? No. 45 CHF in euro. 41 euros. GBP. What else we got? We could check, I don't know, name.com or something. I don't know if they sell .shoes. That's the thing. I have a couple domains registered with them. So Matty... I actually can't believe that I didn't already search for this. know what, chat? I think we should buy it. I think we should buy it, chat. Let's do it. YOLO buy! But I'm gonna blur. Because I don't want y'all to see what I'm doing. Because, well... No, I'm gonna buy it from my registrar. Because, I'm already registered with them. Where's the code, man? Where's the code? Where's the code? Give me the code. Why is the code not arriving? What the? Oh, there we go. Okay. Love a bit of peer pressure from Twitch chat. Yeah, that was But you know what? You're right, chat. Like, I should have bought this domain a long time ago if I didn't know there was a shoes top level domain. How was I supposed to know that? Oh, come on. Okay, it sent me a new one. Hold on.
I think I am getting a text message. Ah, there it is.
I am getting a text message. Oh, the emoji domains. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started. Oh, no. Don't get me started on the emoji domains. That is something that just grinds my gears, because they're just making so much money off of people that don't know better, just to like $10 to reserve your unique emoji combination. So like, I don't know, chat failed you by not letting you know .shoes existed. Yeah, it's all your fault. Totally. You're right, Alan. You're right. You were supposed to tell me that .shoes as a TLD existed, and not let me suffer here with a .com domain like all these other peons. Like all these other Twitch streamers who have .com domains. I should have a .shoes domain. It's true. So this didn't work. This is very concerning. I don't want to lock myself out of my account. Could you restart your camera? The beep in the cam was off. Yeah, because the database import in the background is taking up all of my memory. MattyTuneShoes. What? I don't understand even those emojis. I'm gonna restart the cam though. We're gonna do like this. Maybe it's better now. I don't know. Once it finishes this import, Matty, 2 people and a shoe. But it looks like for me in chat, there's like 2 people and then the male sign. Twitch is doing weird stuff maybe with the display. So I'm just trying to log in. Give me a second here, chat. It's not working. What is this? Where am I? How did I get here? Let's try again. It'll send me a new security code. You would already be done. Save $20 on Namecheap. Tell me how to do my DNS domain registration, noob. Look, if I just take my cam away, then there's no delay. Also, the middle emoji are apparently two men with bunny ears. How perfect. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Actually, the import is almost done. I didn't get, so the token code, you know, the code that's supposed to arrive, it's not arriving. That's the problem. Failed login attempts. Yeah, of course. That is to be expected. If you don't send me the code, we have problems, Matty. There's no hat redemption. Yes. I'm sorry, TD. I deactivated it.
No.
The reason I deactivated it is because it's too hot. It's too hot. It's too warm, TD. I'm so sorry, but I can't put on hats anymore. I can't. I just can't do it. It is an excuse. It's definitely an excuse. But I'll tell you what, I'll give you a free redemption. I'll give you a free redemption, okay? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now, TD? I should put them behind my ears. Also, this stream is not sponsored by Lint, just FYI. We are currently trying to buy MattyTuneShoes. This is not the bunny cam, just FYI. Help, I lost my phone. Okay. Ah, okay. Oh, I misunderstood the message. Sorry about that. What? I'm very confused. Guess I got nothing else to spend my channel points on, might as well add to Bunnycam. Yes, absolutely, you should contribute. Because we're almost there. 91%. I think the import is almost done. So it wouldn't have finished by the hour, by the way, just FYI. Okay, so listen, chat, we're gonna abandon this, but I promise you I'm gonna buy this domain. Okay? I'm gonna buy this domain after stream. After stream, I will buy it. I promise. So it's available. I swear, if one of you buy it, I will send proof in Discord. I promise. If one of you buy this domain before me, I'm gonna blow you up. And that's not a threat, because I can't threaten chat. I'm not allowed to do that. It's against Twitch TOS. I will, yeah. Don't pinch it, TD. It's gonna be so much work to move it, transfer it. There's like a 60-day embargo on transferring, and I want to make it my new home. Yeah, also, you can never have enough domains. So, chat, after 1 hour of faffing about, snooze you lose. Really? Really? That's what we're gonna go with? Okay. Okay, TD. Okay. Just had to make sure I wasn't doing something weird. My bank says something else. Can you say what your current number of owned domains is? It's a very good question. Oh, it's almost done, chat. We can finally get out of this crazy, nasty, sync, lag hellhole. My bank blocked me. They don't even want to talk to me. TD, I do own a 3-letter domain. This is very true. If someone is in the interest, someone is in the market for a 3-letter domain, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. Shameless plug. It's not shameless plug if it's your own stream, is it? Honestly, the domains are molto bene. Really. Oh, that's the wrong window. Come on. See, I set up two-factor on here not long ago. Five domains, noob? That's a low number. I'm just telling you now, it's a low number. I'm gonna wait till this finishes because I don't want to deal with the lag anymore, chat. I'm sorry. So we're just gonna wait for it to finish. And so for now, it's just gonna be me talking to you like a normal person with bunny ears. Just standard. You're in science and tech, Matty, you need to buy it now. But I can't. It's not letting me in. 24 domains? Some of your clients. Oh, even better, you own their domains. That's the best way to get them to pay, isn't it? Just take their site offline if they don't allow you. Security code. Help, I lost my phone. Hey, okay, I'm in. I manage their domain because they have no clue what to do. That sounds familiar. By the way, we are at 15 million rows for the tracks. So I don't want to show you the domains I have yet, but I'm definitely going to go by domains. You've never bought a domain, Chillaxathor, and that's totally fine. It's really not a big thing. You just go online, you type MattyTuneShoes. No, sorry, you don't type that because if you type that, you'll buy the domain. You do chillaxathor.com and you buy the domain. You add it to your cart. That's it. You've bought the domain. Easy peasy. MattyTuneShoes. Let's go to checkout. It's already in my cart twice. There's 2 domains in there. I don't want any of this stuff. There's all these like additional... Ah, there's a site in there from when I was thinking about doing something else. That's why. Alright, so look, chat. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Did it finish? No, it didn't finish yet. That's not the right one. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Alright. My dad bought our surname back in October 1998, so I have firstname at surname.co.uk. Huh. My dad did something similar. Not quite the same thing, but... here we go. So, MattyTuneShoes. I'm going to register it for a year. I save 18%. What if I go to like 5 years? Oh, the savings are nothing. I save 18% for doing 1 year. Okay, so I'm gonna blur stuff because I have no idea what the next steps are gonna look like. Just telling you. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna put in like some stuff. I don't want to save that. All right. I agree. I agree. I promise I won't do anything with it. Dox your bank card. Yeah, sure. No, no, no. Definitely not. I'm actually going to use PayPal. It's just the easiest thing, to be honest. Because I can also reject the charge on PayPal if things don't go well. All right, here we go. I think this is coercion. I think that's the definition of coercion. I'm not sure, but I think it is. So you can see the progress bar. Yep. Here you go, chat. I just bought MattyTuneShoes. I can't believe chat just convinced me to do that. Thank you for sending good vibes, PD. Ah. Y'all are savage, I tell you that. Thank you, Ian, for the biddies. I appreciate it. Chaos bits, indeed. Why didn't you mention it earlier? I don't know. But, yeah. There we go. Well, that was fun. Good stream. Good stream. We did what we needed to do, chat. Mission accomplished. Good for you. Honestly, chat, good for you. Not gonna lie, you did a good job. It's not a stream if you don't buy a new domain. That's like a Panther thing. We're switching tracks, that's boring. 16 million rows. Okay, apparently it's finished, but it's not finished. Chilaxathor with another landing, 78.65. That is a respectable score, my friend. Alright, so we're just gonna let that finish. The thing I wanted to do today was really use these, see if I can generate a list now. So we've been faffing around for an hour, buying domains. I want to see if I can get a lookup going somehow. That basically, based on the vector, based on the valence stuff. Where did this go, by the way? I need this. TS vector dictionary. I need to somehow look up the different parts. So I'm just going to do a limit here. Limit with like 3. And I'm sorry if there's massive lag. Just, I'm sorry. Imagine how cool a series would be. Randomly generate a domain name to buy and build something in 3 hours. Wow. That sounds hard, TD. I mean, you've just built a fan site, so you know how long it took. Also, my throat is just really bothering me today. How does the data come down? Like a DB backup? Big CSV? Alan, you mean the import? This one is a CSV file from my desktop, from my laptop, from my hard disk. Yeah, TD, that sounds like something you could stream, actually. You know? That could be fun. Yeah, so I downloaded the Spotify data from Kaggle originally. You can actually get the link with the today command. It's from this user on Kaggle. I assume that this is going to be done soon because it's close to completion. The generator didn't actually take too long since I already had written the code for another project. You wrote a name generator for something else? Oh! It's finished. Chat. 1 hour, 32 minutes. Oh, okay, 2 hours wasn't bad. 15,000 errors. That's fine. Out of 16.5 million tracks? I accept. That's okay. That's fine with me. So we now have a database with all the tracks in it. I know that there's duplicates, which you can see here if you look at track IDs. You can see that there's duplicates, but that's fine. I will get rid of them at some point. Let's ignore this for the moment. Now everything should be running a lot smoother. Is there any lag? Do you see any lag? Do you see lag? 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 No lag. So yeah, let's see if we can look up the groups. So we're not actually looking at the valence groups, we're looking at the genres, which is fine. It's perfectly in sync now. Yeah, it was just a memory issue. Now we have no issue anymore. So yeah, we need to figure out a way to look up the genres. And this is what's a bit tricky. We have like here, jazz as one of the lexemes. We have some errors. If you could take a look, sure. 15,000 errors, good luck. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at those. I'm definitely not gonna look at those. The main reason I'm not gonna look at those is because 16.5 million records, 15,000 over 16.5 million is minute in terms of when we talk about overall trend and statistics. Like, it's insignificant. It's just insignificant. Now I can beep all day. You're right. I can beep all day. I can chat all day. All day. Easy. Easy peasy. So, I can beep if I want to. Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm just kidding. No, I understood what you meant, yeah, definitely. I'll go take a peek at the error file afterwards, but it's not a core component of this stream, right? It's something I'm going to be doing off stream anyway. Once I have everything sorted out here. When it comes to data and SQL, I'm biggest noob. No, noob is the biggest noob here. You are the second biggest noob. That is official. Definitely. So what we have to do is we have to find a way to link parts of these lexemes. So jazz, the lexeme is jazz. Avant-garde jazz has a lexeme here with jazz. Belgian jazz also has jazz. How do we search TS vector search lexemes? Because I don't have a lot of experience with this. SQL wizard. Thank you, noob. I appreciate it. I just don't have a lot of experience with TS vector, so to represent lexemes containing white space, where's search? Weights are typically used. TS query. But how do I search using like my master list? That's the question. You're learning TypeScript. Ooh. And here you're learning SQL. Learn everything. That's the answer. Just soak up all the knowledge. So I don't know how to do this. Maybe there's a different... This looks promising. Okay. Trigger. What the? I just got rickrolled. I can't believe I just got rickrolled in SQL. It's like literally the thing I did not expect to ever happen in my entire life. Yeah, there's no rickroll music because I'm not getting DMCA'd, but I just got rickrolled in SQL. That's just amazing. Okay, so stop words. I know about this. Where's the search stuff? I need to... T-search. Django? Oh, yeah, I don't like that. Oh, we looked at this last time. Ah, TS query. So we have two TS query which accepts a list of words that will be checked against the normalized vector. Ah, okay, so use table in TS query. That's what we want to do. Can we use, there we go. Use a column as an input for to TS query. What? No, that's not what I want. TS query using a column. Ah, wait, so... I think this could work. Because... Let's try this out, chat. I have an idea. So I have an idea. My idea is the following. Let's get rid of this. I have an idea. The idea is select star from FMA. Hold on. We need to clean up some stuff. Spotify dot, I don't know, valence groups? No, let's use the tracks full, because I haven't done anything yet. With that. Limit 10. I can't type today either. This is awful. Okay. And we have here... Where's the... Oh, no, that's the wrong one, sorry. The full GB. That's the British one. British, yo! Where's the artist genres? There it is. So, if we do... British, bruv! If we do... how did we get this out of the array? I don't remember how we did that. I think it was regex to table. Let's go get that from last time. So let's go get it. Nope, that's this week. All queries. That's the one. Yeah, see? There we go. That was, oh, that was the artist thing. Percentage of results, danceability, B trim. Ah, there we go. Nice. Okay, we already did this. Oh, we created a table. Go ahead and drop if you can. You can definitely see if someone's doing well. Oh, mine looks promising. Let's go, let's go. Good landing, noob. Ah, mine's gonna be short. It's gonna be short, isn't it? Oh no. It's short. Yep, 13, not enough. Good job, noob. So we have, okay. Where was that? We have, oopsie. I need to get rid of this. 2 pixels maximum. Alright, so we have... Oh, I copied the wrong thing. I just realized. I copied that twice. That didn't work. Come on. Where is it? Yeah, this is the definition of those groups, by the way. That's why they don't make a lot of sense. Binning results. Data frame. Spotify artist genres. So what's this table look like? Ah, right. So you have an artist ID and a genre. And then we link them. What is this? Did somebody just get Rick Astley to raid my stream? Oh my gosh. This can't be a coincidence, right? No, this can't be a coincidence. Rick Astley stan. Are you a real streamer? That is literally the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. That is literally... How is this possible? This is nuts. Is this the real Rick Astley? You're kidding. I've streamed before, it's been a while. Yeah! 5 months ago. Holy moly. Thank you for the raid. I don't think you're aware of how crazy this is. I got like semi-rickrolled before in sequel. And now you've raided. So it's kind of nuts. I don't even know what's happening. How's this possible? The chances are just crazy. Yeah, I'm in shock. Thank you for the raid, Rick. And welcome to the stream. Our stream is kind of about music, funnily enough. We're trying to figure out if certain genres in music tend to be more happy or not, or make you happy. And the way that we're doing that is using data from Spotify. Yeah, Chilaxathor, I don't know how to react to this. I really don't know what to say. I kind of got like semi-rickrolled and then I get rickroll rated. This is like highlight of my life. It's like mind-blowing. So we have artist genres, and then we did like, how did I join them? I put them into somewhere else. Where did I write the groups? I wrote valence groups somewhere. Ah, yeah, here we go. That's where I did that. This should go in the VOD 100%. Yes, it will. What do you typically stream, Rick Astley Stan? What kind of music do you stream? I'd love to know more about your stream. So, oh yeah, we already wrote the valence groups, but this was basically the distribution of those. I guess we could use the valence groups to do this. So the idea would be, we have this, you see here, like genre vector. This is the 2TS vector. If we want to search it, then we have to put something into the TS query. So if we were to join the table with something, so basically we have, let's see what we get from this table again. We have an artist genre. I only streamed the Never Gonna Give You Up music video. Also, it's just 100% Rickroll all the time. That's a great stream. Can you raid when you're offline? I didn't realize that. So you weren't actually streaming today, essentially. You raided me from an offline state. That's pretty incredible. Just the level of coincidence blowing my mind. Like, I understand Rickroll is a big thing, but I just got Rickrolled raided after being Rickrolled in sequel, which I already thought would never happen ever. So yeah, it's kind of blowing my mind, the level of coincidence. Also, Rick Astley Stan, I'm not sure why you rated me, but I appreciate it. I think that's super cool. I'm very, very shocked at what happened. That's all. that's literally, that's the reaction. And you can raid offline. Interesting. I should raid people all the time while I'm offline. It's kind of a cool way to show support for someone rather than just coming into chat to say hello. Yeah, a new domain rated by Rick Astley. This has been a crazy stream. Who knew? Who knew? You leave for 3 days and this is what happens on stream. So instead of doing a TS query like this, oh, I don't need that in there. Instead of doing a TS query like this, I would do a TS query. So let's say to TS query as my query. And then I would take this and put it in here. Now it doesn't know it yet, so that's why it can't do it that way. But if we do this inside here, we could do that like that. So if I do jazz and acid, what else we got in here? I don't know.
Nice.
Oh, Rick, thank you so much for the bits. That really wasn't necessary. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you haven't looked at Rick's channel, honestly, I can only recommend. Definitely go and just keep it running 24/7. That is that's really just an incredible thing that just happened. I'm still so mind blown by what just happened. Hey TD, thank you very much for your presence today. No one landing. What is going on? Thank you for your presence. You're off to learn how to make egg fried rice from your girlfriend. You should just watch Uncle Roger on YouTube. He will tell you how to make egg fried rice. Definitely. Yeah, this has been a crazy stream. What a crazy stream this has been. But egg fried rice sounds delicious. Oh, Alan. Thank you so much for the raid. I just wanted to try the raid thing. Thank you, Alan. If you do not know Alan's stream, do go check him out, because he also streams. Oh, you were doing Battlesnake stuff. That's super cool. Yeah, I missed the finals on Saturday. How did Panther's snake place actually? How did it do in the end? Thanks for the raid though. Appreciate it. Just everybody raid, yeah. Just get like hundreds of raids going. Welcome back in, Alan. How did your stream go? Yasmin! Hi there. Welcome in. We have another candidate for a shout out. Definitely. Yasmin's stream is also very, very cool. Applied visual design. Ooh, that's really interesting. Something I know very little about, actually. Very little. Text search configuration jazz does not exist. Wait, yeah. Okay, so if I just do English and then do like a load of terms, how do I do more terms? Where's TS query? And operator? Or operator? Ooh, pipes. Phrase search? Oh, so pipe. So if I do acid, pipe, jazz. What? Two. Oh, here we go. So what did this give us now? Did that work? Because I need to create a string with pipes in it, with all the genres that I have. And then, okay, wait a second. VG. Can I even join this? I can't join them. I have no join keys. I have no join keys. How do I even join these? I can't even join these, so I would need to union, but I don't have the same number of columns. Artist genre. So, okay, let's do it like this. So artist genre, the genre vector, this is some column. What's it generating? Oh, that's the dictionary. Can we do it like this? Ah. Okay, limit 100. Did it work? It did work. Because it's searching for jazz no matter where it comes up in the lexeme. Also, it's very efficient, 143 milliseconds. Very nice. Everybody drop. Let's go, everybody. Let's get every single person here to drop. There's like almost 20 people here, so let's do it. Let's get everybody in. Because I want to see if someone could actually land. Oh, it's chaos. Oh no. Thank you for the chaos, Ian. Who is going to land? Because this is true chaos. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows. Oh, Joel. Oh, Joel, you're being pushed off. No! Oh, no. You were so close to landing. Oh, it's the magic potatoes. They just push everyone away. Ian, what have you done? What have you done, Ian? Look at all those potato Easter eggs. Oh my gosh. That's awful. Ian, the chaos maker. I also love how there's a 50% chance to get noise and 50% chance to get a coin flip. Because Panther didn't like the noise sound coming with every single bit dono. So I set it up so it's 50% chance. Okay, so it now brought up all of the genres that have either acid or jazz in them. So if I were to do this, I need to classify them with case when, right? So if I do case when, I just need to try this way, because I can't go through all of them this way. But basically, if I do case when, Yasmin Aries has contributed 2,690 total to Bunnycam. 92%. Thank you, Yasmin, for your contribution. Case when, hold on a second. 2TS query. We need to take this out of here and put it up here, because we need to take it out of this. So we'll do English, because that's the dictionary. Acid jazz. Then jazz. Else other. Whatever. And as genre parent. Case when type boolean. Can't use TS query in a... Really? Ah, right. It's true, right? True, false. Ooh, this looks promising. Is true? No, wait, it's equals true. What's the result? I can't remember. I'm back. I got my egg fried rice. I did a good job, although I feel very judged making it since my girlfriend is Thai. That was very fast. TD. How long were you gone for? How's that possible? 10:47. That's like 10 minutes. Wow. That's fast. This returns true. I knew TD Racing has a time machine. Yeah, I feel like you have a time machine. That's about how long it takes if the rice is already boiled. True, Ali. That's very true. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Ali123492. What brings you to the stream today, Ali? Case when 2ts query equals true. I thought this is true. Must be type boolean. Is null? What's the result? Okay, I need to see the result. I don't understand what the result is. So, just avoiding working on my own projects. I get you. I totally feel you. This is a safe place for you to hang out. Ah, it returns the search word. That's weird. That's not working. Did you know I'm on Spotify? What kind of projects would you normally be working on, Ali? Oh, I see. We have to... Ah... We have to do it within the TS vector. That's why it's not working. So we have to do genre vector like this. Genre vector at. Ah, there we go. So that's why it wasn't working. Case when genre vector at 2ts query English jazz it is true, then jazz, else other. There we go. Ah, there we go. Do a search for This Week With on Spotify and you'll find my podcast. Hey, cool. Really? Okay. Where This Week With track name like This Week With Taylor. I'm kidding, that's just the half the data set. Let's go into the full one. You should be in this one if you're on Spotify. Where name like 16.5 million rows it is currently searching. But technically, oh, no. Maybe it's not capitalized? Does it include podcasts? I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. Also, it depends when it was scraped. I think it was scraped up until the end of 2020 or something. So if your podcast is very new, then it might not be on there. Taylor. I just like calling you TD more than Taylor. That's okay. All right, so interesting. So this is working. We have a lot of... Oh, that's limit 100, obviously. We have a lot of genres. 1800, to be precise. We have to figure out a way to automate this. And this is quite easy now, because we have to just bring in the other table. The way that we do that is we just union it, because we can't join because there's no keys. So what we do is we union it. So we do union all. Let's get rid of the limit for a moment. Select star from FMA genres. Spotify dot. Oh no. No. FMA genres. Tab 9 is not doing well today. So it's kind of hard to explain, but my most popular project is used to extract digital data from old VHS tapes. Wow, Ali, that sounds interesting. So what's the point? Well, no, what's the point? But there's always learning in itself is already enough. But what's the actual? So when you extract the digital data from the VHS, is that to reconstruct it as digital footage? Because it's originally in an analog format, so you can reconstruct it in digital and then like make it more, like make it look better than it actually was originally? Like restore it? Or what's the main incentive behind something like that? It isn't video, it's a side channel used to broadcast text information. Oh. Cool. Ali, that sounds really cool. Seriously. Do you stream? Do you stream? Because that would be super cool. Is that something that you do on stream? I think that would be great to do on stream. It's really unique. Let's go check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2. I don't stream. Some other people do related streams. Really? Okay. Ah, I see. Okay. I see you have suggested some. That's very useful. Oh, wow. Interesting. Fascinating. This is like a whole area that I have no idea existed. Pages from CFAX. TFAX. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. The other two guys there don't work on this project. That's a pretty crazy thing. Sounds also really difficult. Like specialized equipment and stuff. Like it's not just standard, you know, open up VS Code and start doing something. You really need to like... really have to yeah, you really have to like have specialized tools and everything to read. I mean, other than just the VHS player, you need to like... Pages from CFAX channel was literally streaming a recreation of the old system. Wow. Like a recreation of VHS in digital format? Wow, this is like... I don't even understand how that's possible. Alright, so if we union, what it's going to tell me now with this is that they have to have the same number of columns. Oh, recreation of CFAX. What? Oh my gosh. Teletext. Oh, yeah, sorry. I was confused because we have a thing here called teletext in Switzerland. And it's basically that's the version we had here in it's teletext. Ah, okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Wow, so you're digitizing teletext? Holy moly. CFAX system was broadcast on live TV, never meant to be recorded, but we can recover it from old tapes. Damn. Yeah, they should turn on VODs. That would be super cool. Wow. Amazing. See, this is what I mean. Like, there's tons of streamers doing really cool stuff that just a lot of us have no idea how to do that. You can learn from everyone here on Twitch. That's what's so cool about it. Despite all the bad stuff that also happens here, you know? There are some really cool things too. So we need to create the same number of columns. So what we're going to do is just do null as artist genre. Then we're going to do null as genre vector. And then we add the what's the genres? The title. We have to lowercase it. Title as parent, I don't know, call it master genre. So now when we union them, hold on a second. We have to null this. That's the third one. And then we have to null this one. Null as genre parent. This doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this work? I think there are some videos from that channel on YouTube running Quake on teletext. If you can run Quake on a pregnancy test, you can run Quake on teletext. Can you search for Baby by Justin Bieber? No, TD. Nice try. What's more, if you have a Raspberry Pi, you can get that service on your teletext TV if you still have one. Oh, really? Only 7% left go. Oh, yeah, Finite! Finite coming in with the clutch. What is the bunny situation? Where is it going? I'm waiting till the end to spend mine. Oh, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Finite, welcome to the stream. The bunny situation is good. We have one bunny, and she's doing well. Sunday morning pop-up puppy cam. Yeah. Digital picture frame. That sounds fun. Feed the bunny a carrot in the near future. We should have the cam running soon. Yeah. Based on the 93% raised, we might actually hit that today. It's possible. How many more points does it require? It requires 7,000. So people can contribute 2,000 per day. So if there are 4 people with 2,000 points, we could hit that today. Yeah, she's doing well. She's fine. She's on her own still for the moment, but we will try and get her a partner soon. Yeah, definitely. I'm shoe poor. You should watch more of my stream. Finite. No, I mean, you get the points when you get the points, right? Why doesn't this work? I can't join them because there's no keys. Well, maybe we don't need to. Maybe we don't need to. Maybe we just need to... I need a webcam to point at the dot matrix for the channel point redemptions. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds really fun. We were just looking at teletext because Ali was explaining that they are working on a side project of like digitizing VHS. From what I understood. I don't think I fully understood it. Join tables in SQL without a key. Without keys or relations. I would be cross-join. Of course. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's I don't know why I was trying to union these. I think I'm just brain dead from the weekend. That's a bit weird. So what we do is we just do from blah blah blah, comma, Spotify FMA genres. And if we do so this is T as T2. The aliases are not good. I'm just telling you now. It's before someone complains. T2.name as master genre. T2 name does not exist. No, that's not it. Sorry. Title. Sorry. I should have known it was green. Yep. Alright, so I love that I don't understand SQL, but I'm just enjoying the stream and going with the flow. Thanks, TD. I appreciate it. If we want to go for a little light sync, this track probably has enough beat in it. We could definitely do something like that for a bit. So right now it's on subtle, but we could set it to high. Disco mode. Maybe change the palette to something more stream-like. I think it looks pretty cool when it flashes like crazy. I don't know how it chooses which colors it flashes. That's what I don't know. But you can place the light in a virtual room. That's pretty cool. I can maybe turn down the brightness. Not bad. Maybe we'll just have it on like 30% brightness, then it shouldn't be too intrusive. Maybe put it on moderate. Oh wow. It's still very bright actually. I'm enjoying playing with this light. So, here's the thing. Now we have every abstract genre with every genre vector, and we can use the master genre from the other table for the classification. I'll show you what I mean. We don't have to include it. It's just in the data frame. So if we do distinct, like that, it's going to take a little bit longer to calculate. So you see, we'll have 1800 rows. There we go. So what we're doing is we're classifying our own set of genres according to this master list of genres. That's what we're doing. This is like causing me headaches now. So actually like, there we go. That's better. So here's the thing. What I can do is right here, instead of jazz, I can actually use the master genre from here, which is basically just lower of the T2 dot title. And I can output T2.title, else it's unclassified. Essentially. Does this make sense to anybody? Makes sense to me. So case when, come on. Case when genre vector matches what's in the title, so true, then it outputs the title. Otherwise, we're going to set it as unclassified. And then we will end. Come on. Really? Come on. There we go. And we will end as genre parent. So, do you ever create cool charts from the data that you query? Sometimes, TD. It depends what we're doing. Could definitely do, we can do visualization from this when we're done. At the moment, there's nothing to visualize. Error in TS query, old time / historic. Ah, so this is the problem. Some of these have slashes in them. Slashes are non-permissible. Ooh, there's even an unclassifiable one. That's cool. So we'll actually call it unclassifiable. So I don't know what to do. How should we handle those? Let's do where t2.title not like. Let's just exclude all the ones with slashes in them. Error syntax easy listening. Ah, because it's 2 words. How does it match phrases then? How does it match phrases? TS query doesn't make any distinction with the AND operator. Ah. So we need a thingamajiggy in between. We're gonna have to process this genres table first, I think, before we use it like this. So let's get to work on this table for a bit. All right. Let's see if we can process this table a bit. So I'm actually going to just create another column in this table rather than making a whole new table. Spotify.fma genres. So what we want to do is take the title. We want to lower it into as title fixed, let's say. This is called Skynet, this song. Makes me slightly concerned. So the title fixed, like this. So if there's a slash, we should replace the slash with an or. So we'll do case when lower title, like, oh, we don't need to lower it first, we can just search the title. When the title is like slash, then lower title and replace, and we'll run replace. Are you booping me on the nose, TD? Thank you for booping me on the nose. Just like a bunny. Boop. So we need to get this logic down pat. when title like blah blah blah, then replace in lower title, I want to replace a slash with a phrase operator search. Drop, 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 drop. So we have, is that right? Yeah, it's this one. It just draws it funny here. Okay. Right. And then we do an else. And then we need to end as. New, good landing. 29, solid. What happens now? When title like, why is it not liking this? What's the issue? Syntax error near else. Oh. Forgot a bracket. So this is what it's gonna do. Now we need to parse whether it's two words. So we need to do that before or after the slash. Hey, someone landed, but it's not enough. I think that was you, Joel. Didn't catch it. So we have a second condition here. When the title contains a empty space, don't know if I can search like that. I want to replace an empty space with a and symbol. Oops, that's the wrong one. Yeah, like this. Music and concrete. New age. New and age. Alright, so I want to replace minuses as well. Just cleaning up stuff. It would be actually better to use regex, actually. When I think it's safer to use regex. Because I want to match for a minus, but I want to match it anywhere. We bought a domain already, so it's time for regex. We're checking off all the things on stream, right? Bought a domain, we got rated by Rickroll, we got rated by Rick Astley, and now we have to use regex. It's double backslash. I need to see something. Replace, then replace lower title, replace a minus with an and. Oh, must be Boolean, not text. Really? Is it matches? I keep forgetting, actually. Oh, come on. Though I can use similar to, yeah, regex replace, regex matches. Just match. I'm very confused about this. It's not matches. What? Why is this validating then? Oh, it doesn't know that. Yeah, see, it doesn't know that function actually. Tilde regular.
Wow.
Fletcher Quest, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I'm just doing regex. Substring. I don't want a substring. I want a match. How is this not true false? Similar to. What the? There's no good reason to use similar to. Oh, just tilde. Okay. How do I get a tilde? That's the question. I guess I can get it from here. Does not exist Boolean unknown. You don't need to escape the character with a regex. Ah, you don't need an is true operator. It's implicit. What? Chat, what? How can I not write regex anymore? I don't understand this. I don't want to go to Stack Overflow anymore. Case sensitive match, case insensitive match. Substring is not null, could work. Use hat and chevron and a dollar if I want to match the whole input. Yeah, but why? If I'm using a tilde, and it's telling me that tilde, yeah, it doesn't have new lines. So if I have like, for example, like this, and then like any white space character, for example. And then it says operator does not exist, Boolean unknown. Yeah, I know it's that line causing the issue. So, oh, because I'm doing a like. Oh, that's why. I had the like in there still. Break core. There we go. So I want to replace any white space. No, I wanted to place minus. So if it has a minus in it, anywhere, then I want to replace it with an and. That doesn't work. Break core and hard. Ah, no, I don't need the starts ends with. I need to trunk, I actually need to replace the minus with nothing. But that's not working. Oh, I could have both. Could have both. Oof, that's complicated. Yeesh. That's complicated. See, power pop. Power pop should be an and symbol. See, some of these don't work. Alternative. Maybe nested case one. Redundant to character, yeah, I know. Might as well just use like at this point. Just use like and then minus, basically. Translate. Translate? I've never heard of that one. This is some high level stuff, man. Translate. String matching string replace string. Substitute. Okay, it's like replace. Kind of. That's pretty cool. But it will do it multiple times per line. Better than case when. So if there's a slash, then replace the slash with that. There could be two slashes. So I could do, if there's a slash, then translate. Let's check. That's an interesting one. So I have to move this over again because there. String, matching string. Why do you have to check first? Because there's multiple matching conditions. So the matching string here is a slash, but the matching string here is a minus. But it's a good question, Ali. So this one is not working correctly. Old time and historic. It has both cases in it. So we should translate and then just nested translate. That makes the most sense. So if we don't, okay. So if we did translate, I see what you mean. I do see what you mean, actually. You could just do translate lower as title fixed. One translate call can do all these replacements. Really? No. How do you... translate multiple matches? If you say AB 12, then every 1 turns to a 1 and every B turns to a 2. Ah. Let's try that out. So if I do slash comma, minus. It's not respecting the entire character though. String. Do you see that? It's doing something weird. I've never seen that before. It's only doing part of it. Yeah. I'll just do an and instead. Okay, and I want to replace empty spaces, which might be a bit tricky. How can I get white space in here? That's the real question. I guess 2. Character to character mapping, you don't need the commas. Okay. Oh, so I just do a space. Ah! Cool. Okay, so a slash becomes an and, a minus becomes an empty space, and an empty space becomes an and. Two strings should be the same length. Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. This is really interesting. I didn't know that function existed. That's very nice tip, Ali. This is the one I'm struggling with. Actually, slash could be replaced with pipe. It's an or condition. Look at this. Ian lands for 56.67. Not bad, Ian. So the thing, I guess what I'm struggling with is should have been 56.78. As in 5678. I know, Ian, you missed the opportunity. So the replacement thing is hard. That's definitely quite hard. What we maybe need to do is just do everything gets replaced with an and. But can we set it to only replace once? Oh yeah, and those. So slash becomes and, minus becomes and. Empty space removed, and those removed. Okay, this is not bad. Oh, there's a dot in here too. Remove those. Okay, so it's not bad. It's not bad. Abstract hip hop. I don't know how it's gonna work with this, but we'll try. So we'll do select star and then comma into. Comma this into Spotify dot FMA genres 2. I don't know, fixed. I said I was going to put it in the original table. I know I said that. The problem is that there's an issue with it. The issue is that it would create another set of 168 rows, which I don't want. So there should be a table now. I should say I don't know SQL well at all. I only know this translate method from Python, and I just guessed it might exist in SQL too. Hey Ali, that was a great suggestion. As I always say, chat is more than welcome to contribute. Otherwise, I will say no backseating. Like, I will tell chat if you should, you know, shut the hell up. But that's unlikely to happen. It's still introspecting. Why is it taking so long? It's doing something. Okay, just refresh this. There we go. Ta-da! So let's check out the difference. Time to let the hot dog stretch her legs. Actually, that's a very good point. It's 11:30. I need to take a quick stretch because I've been sitting for a few hours. You may have noticed I got a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm gonna go on break for a minute or so, 2 minutes, just to refill my water, and I will be back. I'll be back right away. Don't have to worry. Ian, have a lovely hot dog stretch, and see you in a moment, hopefully, if that's possible. See you in a moment. Noob, give me your boots, your keys to your motorcycle, and your clothes. I knew you'd appreciate that. Arnie is one of the few voices that I'm able to do. There's not a lot that I'm able to do. But I've worked on his voice for a while. So water is refilled. Let's see how we did. So what we're doing is we're comparing this column and this column. Avant and guard, that makes sense. Thank you, tears in my eyes. You're welcome, noob. You deserve it. You work hard. You work hard to keep Twitch alive as a streaming platform. So this one I was worried about. Old time historic. Old and time and historic. Okay. Easy listening. That's gonna be a problem. Because the words should be easy and listening. Giving some clothes to that noob, he just got robbed by the Terminator. Yeah. Give me your iPhone. Getting robbed by Arnie. Okay, so that's not perfect because the empty spaces need to become ands. Actually. Let's dump the table. Goodbye. Goodbye. You have been erased. Honestly, my favorite movie with him is probably Kindergarten Cop. So now we're gonna play a game. Who is your daddy and what does he do? Give me your Wi-Fi password, I need to send a report. Yeah. No connectivity. No connectivity. You should come back with a good SIM card though. But will he have data left on his plan? That's the real question. Alright, so let's check this again. So now this has like one. I need to watch those movies in English. I only watched all of them in German. Oh yeah, you should definitely watch them in English. Definitely. So this one doesn't work. This works. Okay, so if I see multiple ands, I'm just gonna truncate them. Easy peasy. Easy, easy, easy. Where? Title, fixed. I'm gonna do the lazy way. Like... I want 1, 2 and. So we're just gonna fix them manually. How about that? Just gonna edit them because I own this database. I can do whatever I want in this database. Can't tell me what to do. There we go. Where's the submit thing? Preview? No. Submit changes. Ta-da! Now they're fixed. Let's check if there's any other weird ones. Let me know if you see weird ones, chat. I wouldn't do this normally, but it's just 163 rows, so look at it. It's no problem. Also, chat, big shout out to you, because I can see that there's a lot of you still here after like quite a few hours. I'm very impressed that you're able to watch someone do this for so many hours. I don't get bored of myself, but I would totally understand if other people got bored of me. Oh, here's a weird one. Romani and Gypsy. Ah, forgot about the brackets. Let's change this one. Romani or Gypsy, I think would be appropriate for this one. Abstract and hip hop. Yeah, it works. I think it works. I think it works. Yes, mean. What's with all the hype? Crazy hype. That's a lot of hype. I gotta turn this light down. It's a bit bright. You won't be able to see the light soon. I'm getting another light in the corner on the other side. Over there. Over there. So that it's just gonna fill the back with this color so that we don't actually see the bulb anymore. Let's drop, people. Let's do it. So this looks nice. This looks really good, actually. This looks actually nice. I think we can use this. So we fixed the genres. All right. Let's type this. Fix the genre spelling so it can be used in search. We're just cleaning data. You realize that, chat? We're just cleaning data together. All right. So now I can use my FMA genre fixed. There we go. And we don't need to do this lower stuff anymore. We can do a t2.title fixed. Let's see. Oh, we don't need that either. Let's see what happens. So there are 10,000. There's a lot of tracks in here. Oh, here we go. What the? What's it outputting? Oh, oops, title fixed would be more appropriate. Now we get to find out how much of it is unclassifiable. Ooh, there's a lot of unclassified. Oh, right, because it searches for both. Searches both lexemes. Either we're drawing by numbers or cleaning data with MattyTuneShoes. Yeah, I'll have to change my domain now. From MattyTuneShoes.com to MattyTuneShoes. Also time for a new site. Nice, so this actually works. This is actually pretty cool. So it goes through each one, and for some of them, there are 2 rows. So for the ones that have 2 rows, we know that it was able to find a classification. Now it's just cleanup time. We have to find a cleanup for this. How do we clean this up? Maybe we should... Let's call this data frame. Let's end this horrendous data frame because I'm not a big fan of doing that. All right, so now comes the interesting part. So we have an artist genre. We'll probably need the ID, to be honest. Valence groups. Oh, that was already the computed ones. Yeah, we can go back and do this with the raw file if we need to do it. We just did the groups. We can still do this with everything. But the valence groups is already good because we know they're computed already. So artist genre, and then maybe the genre vector, just to check our work. And then we want to do array. We're going to do array ag. I'm going to concatenate the genre parent into an array. And this will give me, oops, sorry. I've forgotten the group by. Look at that, there's even a command for this. So clear the counter, and the counter is now 1. I have forgotten the group by already this stream. Okay. So this is what we've done. Yasmin, I didn't know either. I didn't know there was .shoes. Now I do. So you can see there's some of these have multiple arrays. I bet the .shoes domain is expensive. It was this much. Also, I should screenshot it. Me neither. I threw the idea in the chat, and there you go. They forced me to do it. 35 euros. Namecheap would have been 19 euros. Yeah, but then I have like multiple registrars and stuff. I don't like that. Yeah, it's okay for a year. It's fine. I mean, no one's really trying to buy MattyTuneShoes. Some of those new domains cost thousands. I know, which is why I'm selling a 3-letter.com domain. No, I'm selling a 3-letter .me domain. It's not a .com. I have the 5-letter.com that is the spoken version of it, and the 3-letter .me, which makes the most sense. So anyway, Acid House becomes classified as house and unclassifiable. Acid Jazz is classified as jazz, jazz and out, and unclassifiable. Why did it get classified as jazz and out? That's the question. Because there's no empty space in between? Too bad there's no meme TLD. Yeah, just wait, noob. There will probably be one eventually. Noob.meme. Meme face. What's the lol guy? You know, this one. That one. Anywho, so what I'm interested in is where the array length is more than 1. Those are the ones that are apparently multi-classified. Ooh, wait, no, I want to filter all the lines where genre parent does not equal unclassifiable. These are the ones I need to feed back. Having genre array. Is it array length? Can I do array length? Yeah. Of genre array. Maddie, thank you for the stream. I was great to be here and to hang out with all of you. Oh, thank you, Chilaxathor. That's very sweet of you to say. I appreciated having you here as well. I hope it was interesting, entertaining. I will go faint into the bed. Whoosh, smack. Just smack straight into it. No problem. Have a good night and see you hopefully soon. Wait a second. Having... How do I check the length? Hello, bed. I am back. How do I check the... Oh, actually, I don't want to do that. I want to do length of... No, wait. How do I do this? I don't even know how to do this. Check array. No, using array length in where? SQL. Array length will do the trick. Okay. Genre array greater than 1. Fine. Jeez. Array length text does not exist. No function matches the given name. I don't know. I don't know what it's trying to do. I don't really understand what it's doing. Oops. What does this even mean? I don't know what this means. Array length. The integer argument is the array dimension, so you want 1. But I'm trying to see what the... There we go. You see, it's not explaining the int. It's not explaining this. It's not explaining that. The integer argument is the array dimension. There's only one dimension. What is the second argument in array length? Dimension. Oh, I see. Ah. Yeah. Of course. Thank you, Ali. This makes sense. First dimension greater than 1. Alright, so is the first dimension greater than length 1? Yes. So now we have to decide what we do with these, because they've been classified as 2 different genres. Do we double classify them? British black metal has been classified as black and metal and metal. Maybe we should take the first one. Deal with dupes. I never said it would be pretty, I said it would work. That's all I said. Maybe the most or least specific. Well, the first one should technically be the better match. If we look at an example like this one, British contemporary classical has been classified as classical first and contemporary and classical second. Drone metal, oh, that's an easy one. Experimental pop has been classified primarily as experimental. Oh, that's the array. I mean, it makes sense to look at the very next one, though. Experimental rock has been classified primarily as experimental and not rock. It's probably because of the order, to be honest. It's probably because of the order. Finnish contemporary classical is classified as classical. No, from the previous one. Oh, I don't remember which one we were looking at. British black metal? Black and metal. And metal. I mean, it's kind of okay. I don't know. I don't know whether to know it's okay or not. Like indie rock is right. Indie rock. It's alphabetical rather than specificity. Ah, the array is, you're right, it is alphabetical. Right. You're right. It's alphabetical, not precision. So we should double count them in theory. They count towards both then. That's it. They just count towards both. Because we can't say whether this song, which is classic Canadian rock, is more classical or more rock. In this case, I would say it's more rock, but that's because I'm applying my own bias, right? It's clearly more rock in that case. I think most people would probably agree. I think classic here is being used as an adjective rather than the actual genre. But that's the difficulty with music. Classic not equal to classical, exactly. That's the problem with lexemes, right? Because they take the root of the word. So classical would get reduced to classic, which gets classified under classical. That's with the lexemes. And J-rock becomes just rock. But we got to start somewhere, right? I think it's not perfect, but it's cool. It's somewhere. It's definitely somewhere. Let's look for some that have been classified with more than 3. Oops, sorry. Let's. Well, the good thing is there are none with more than 3. There are 37 that have been classified with 3 genres. So the idea, if we think back to what I'm trying to do, actually, seeing as it is midnight, what I'm trying to do is figure out if some genres have a valence that goes a certain direction. It just means that these genres are going to be double counted. That's all. Which is fine. It means that track counts towards both. So the valence of those tracks would count towards jazz, Brazilian, and jazz and out. And Brazilian thrash metal counts towards Brazilian metal and thrash. Fine by me. So what does this mean? We don't want to deal with dupes. Let's call it prettify instead, because we're going to prettify it, what we're doing. So I don't need an array aggregate anymore. If we look at our data, I can take that out, can take that out, and I don't know what to do about the unclassifiable yet. We'll get to that in a moment. This is what we're working with, right? We have an artist genre, we have a genre vector, and the genre parent. That's actually not the parent yet. That's the thing. So this is actually genre fixed. And we need to call this genre fixed. And what we actually need to do is take the ID of the genre. So t2 dot genre ID as genre fixed ID, and then t2 dot parent genre ID as genre fixed parent ID. So let me show you what this is going to look like now. Genre fixed ID and the genre fixed parent ID. So we could probably agree to truncate the fixed out of this, right? We can just remove it. We're just going to call it genre. Because I mean, we don't need this anymore, the fixed bit. We know it's fixed. We fixed it. That's how we know it's fixed. Genre parent doesn't exist. Okay. So this is more or less what it looks like. Acid house was split into two vectors, two lexemes, acid and house. It got classified as house. The genre ID is 182. The parent of that genre is 15. And if we look in the original genres fixed table, the parent of house is electronic. So here's where the self join comes in. What we're going to do is select star from prettify. We could actually do it here. Data frame as df. Left join. Oh no, inner join makes more sense. Or wait, are there going to be somewhere the parent ID is 0? Yeah, left join. Left join. Spotify dot FMA genres fixed as GG. Genres fixed GF. On GF dot. And this is a self join. So what we're doing is the genre ID equals its own genre ID. df genre ID. And because we're doing that, we need to actually specify that these come from the data frame. Like that. And what you do now is you say the gf dot parent, where is it? Sorry, not the genre. The parent genre ID equals the title. I think it was title fixed as parent genre. We'll stick with consistent naming. Genre parent. Okay. I'm gonna try and visualize this now. So you see here, jazz. But this only works if it could self-join. See, jazz, genre ID 4, the parent is 0, so it can't link anything. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. It's the genre ID is the parent genre ID. It's not coming out correctly. What did I call it? Yeah, exactly, they're backwards. Parent genre ID. Does not exist. Did I? Did I not include it? Oh, I renamed it. This should be correct now. Ooh, there's some ugly stuff in there. Probably have to get rid of that in a second. But you see here now, so these have no parent. Because this is the parent. Like, this is the parent, you see? So what we do case when, we can clean this up already here. Case when, df dot genre parent ID equals 0. Then we take the genre from the data frame. That's this one here. Because that's the mapped one. That's experimental is the top category. But if it's not 0, then we take the GF title fixed, which is the parent from the self join, and then end. That's actually not bad. Chat, that's really not bad. Really not bad. So this should be better. There we go. So we now have one parent genre for all of these tracks. Classic Italian folk pop is both classical, folk, and pop. I mean, also, not both, all. Which is fine. We said that it was going to be this way. So, the artist genre, we now have an artist genre and a genre parent. This is what we wanted. You see here? Now we have the real one. So African American classical is both international and classical. Interesting. That's very cool. It's already derived international from that. That's really cool. See, we wouldn't have been able to do that. That's the point. I couldn't do a like search or something like that, or write a regex for this. See, like Australian alternative pop becomes pop. How am I supposed to know that the top category is pop? This one's rock. Comedy becomes spoken, you see? This is not something we would have been able to do. This is actually a pretty awesome result. I'm very happy so far. So these 1800 now have become... Now what we do is so these 1800 rows can now be self-joined again. So we do an inner join from Prettify as PR, and we do an inner join with the valence groups, Spotify.valence groups. This is again a self-join, but the reason we're doing that is because we want that that valence figure, which we don't have in here. I could go back and get it, but I'm too lazy right now. So as VG on VG.artistgenre equals PR.artistgenre. So you see now we don't need this anymore. You understand, chat? Because look, genre parent and then valence groups. What's it called? Group? So you see here, electronic, MattyCoolTunes. That's because we converted the valence groups into, from the number into these groups. But we don't need to do that this time. We can actually take the raw figures. We can do that by going back to how we created this table. So essentially, we created that table from, where was that? You still with me, chat? It's a little bit complicated, I know. We created the valence groups by taking a combination. Hey Joel, let's drop together. We take a combination of the data frame of the artist genre, and that's from the full GB table, right? And then binned them together. And then we got the averages. So what we could do is just do this again. Sorry, none of us landed, I'm sorry. It's quite shocking. So what we can do is we can just do this again, right? But instead of binning these groups into things... Oh wow, an animated one. Nice. Oh, that looks so cool. Ali, what a land. That's so cool. Oh, 0.91? Wow. What a landing. That's so cool. That's the lowest value anyone's ever gotten on my stream. Yeah, I just wondered if it supported animations. It obviously does. Here comes Yasmin with the attack though. Oh no. Oh no. Painful. I couldn't watch. Sorry, Yasmin. Alright, so what we can do is actually, instead of doing the bins, we're just going to leave those bins out. Right? So what we do is, at the end of our console, so we're going to just terminate this for a moment. Terminate. Again, so data frame, artist genre, the average valence from spotted by full GB. We can do this with the full data set afterwards if we decide. Then we left join the artist genres. We get binned results. Okay. And then we're not going to group them. Okay. We're going to skip this step. So if I do select star from binned instead, that gives me, oh no, actually, what about from the data frame? Oh no. Let's not do an into yet. Let's see what this looks like. We're very close, chat. I can feel it. We're so close. That's why I don't want to stop, even though it's already past my sleepy times. Oh, we had a problem with this taking a long time afterwards. 25-second query. There we go. So you see? Now you have the average, I have the average valence in raw numbers. Right? So what I can do is, this is like the, so we're gonna call this the Spotify valence raw. I'm gonna put that in there. Again, it'll just take 30 seconds or so. How did water just get up my nose? I don't understand. That was very strange. So, oh, it finished. Wonderful. So in the valence raw, we now have that artist genre and the average value raw, which we haven't clustered yet, because we don't want to cluster them. So what we can do is take this query out because we don't need it anymore. That was from last time anyway. We have it saved. We now have, instead of taking the valence groups, we can take our valence raw table. And what we do is still join with the artist genre. That's this, right? And that is joined to the artist genre from this table. Because again, we started with the valence groups. We can also start, it doesn't really matter. We can also start with the valence raw up here too. It doesn't really matter. Makes no difference. Because the artist genre is still the artist genre. It's still mapping that key, right? So now, instead of this, we will have the average genre valence. And you'll see that for the parent, there's going to be multiple lines. I don't know how long... Oh, wow, that was quick. So you see here, if we sort, you see how blues has multiple values? Now we can do 3 values. That's an awful track. Let's take something else. Min. We're going to do as minimum valence. We're going to do maximum valence. Now again, this is a max from an average, which is fine. It's not a big problem. We're just going to average these out as average valence. Now let's not forget, valence means happiness. It also means the end of the stream, which is definitely 1.00. Valence, let's go check out Spotify valence. So there's actually a blog post about this. I'll just link it here in chat in case someone really wants to have a look. Basically, chat, valence is a measure of happiness. Where was this? There's even a... So they don't know how it's measured. Oh, that's the web API. So they basically, the lower the valence value, the more sad, depressed, angry. So there's a lot of debate about how they do that, of course. But now, order by 1. Now we will have... Oh, I forgot group by again. Honestly, chat. That's twice today. That's such a basic one to forget too. Group by 1. Here we go. 31 rows instead of 1800. The happiest song on Spotify? That's a very good question. What we can see is that each of these masters have different valence values. Loud and rock, for example, has the same min-max average. But for example, metal, 0.06, 0.41 as max, and 0.26 as an average. This will be very fun. You know what we can do now, chat? I would like to put this into the database. We're going to put this into Spotify dot, and we're going to call it valence result. Or let's do genre valence. Is that a good name? I don't know if that's a good name. I guess genre valence is fine. Okay. So now we have this table. So we have all the genres. Those master 31 genres. Those are the parents. And then the values. And what we can do, chat, we already have Docker running. So the easiest thing to do is just fire up Metabase. And it's such a shame that TD is not here, because now we're going to visualize data. Because this is the classic example of visualizing data here. Just makes so much sense, because these numbers, we can't see everything. Oh wow, noob, what a contribution. Does that mean we've, oh wow, 95,000. Okay, 5% left. That's definitely reachable in a stream. I mean, it's still, you've still got time till Friday, so thank you, noob. I appreciate your contribution of 14,726 shoes, or pairs of shoes. No, shoes, just shoes. Honestly, that means you have been watching a lot of my stream, which I appreciate. Definitely. Yeah, so Metabase should be started by now. If you're not familiar with Metabase, it's just a... Wow, yeah, no, that's not it. It's a open sourced data visualization solution. And I'm sorry it doesn't have dark mode. We've discussed this before in chat, and I'm sorry. Noob, I know it's time for you to sleep, so good night. Thank you for your contribution and participation. I look forward to using my new domain. That's it. So, browse data. Oh, we have to refresh it first. Databases. Postgres. Sync. And let's get out of here. Browse data. Postgres. Spotify. This is just connected to our database here, so super easy. And now we've got valence. What was it? Genre valence. Okay. 31 rows. Nothing complicated. Now I can visualize. Let me just check how this looks on stream. This is good. This is good. I don't want to be in the way, so... Okay. So now we can do different kinds of plots. Let's try with a line chart first. So we have the min valence, the max valence, and the average valence for each genre. So we can see the ones that have a huge spike, the ones that have a huge range, are the ones that are clearly interpretable in different ways, essentially. Also, this music is not good for this. Let's change to something else like this. So I'm gonna put on some more chill music. Sort X by valence. Yeah, we can probably sort. Min valence. Axes. Where is the sort? I don't know where the sort is for this, funnily enough. Ah, here, sort. sort by average. Okay. So this is pretty interesting. The question was, chat, do certain genres conform to our idea of happy versus sad music, or angry versus joyful, kind of the opposing adjectives for feelings? With some music like metal, this was the most extreme example. Metal is generally perceived, of course this is the range, right? This is the spread. I wonder if I can visualize these a little bit differently, but let's get to that in a moment. Because I could do a combo, and that would maybe make it easier to see. Let's do a combo here. So I want how can I set which one? Here we go. So I want min to be like that. I want max to be like that. And then I want the average to be a line. Maybe. Something like this. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit easier to see. Okay, so chat, listen. Something like holiday has all the same values. Probably because there's not a lot of tracks. I didn't look at that yet. So something like metal has, you can see there's like a gap, right? You can see there's like a variance. Is my camera and audio out of sync, by the way? Just wanted to know, because I have two Docker containers running at the same time. So I hope it's not, for the roughly 10 of you who are watching. Thank you, by the way, if you're still watching. This was the important point to get to. The question is, do some genres conform to this idea that we have and do some not? It's quite interesting because, for example, I can see the calculation's a bit weird for some, but that's just because of the visualization we've chosen. Metal most certainly conforms to our general consensus, I think, of music. So metal tends to be angry, which is why the minimum value is 0.068, which is almost the lowest score you can get, right? 0 would be pure anger. Now on the converse side, funk apparently is 0.89 across the board, both in min, max, and average. And other music like African or Latin American, country and Western, and Indian, and soul tend to be more happy or cheerful genres. It's quite interesting. I don't know if they really conform to that. Where it gets more complicated, I think, is the middle, right? So the average doesn't tell us the whole story. Hip hop, for example, average valence 0.56 means it could be angry, it could be happy. Now you have values in here with max 0.87 and also min 0.036, which when we look at hip hop and the lyrics that are used in hip hop, we know that some hip hop is actually quite violent. So maybe that depends on how the algorithm was trained. Yes, exactly, Ali. Do the genres conform, or is this an artifact of the way the algorithm was trained? And so this is, I'm just going to be serious for a moment. This is a real problem with artificial intelligence, because this can be an artifact of how the algorithm was derived. If we said that lyrics such as ass or all the other things that I can't really say on stream, like and like all those words, you know, if those are classified as generally angry and they're parsing the songs based on the lyrics and assigning a valence score based on the lyrics, then yes. But I like to think that Spotify took both lyrics and tempo and musicality of a song into account, so that someone cussing like crazy doesn't necessarily mean the song is angry, aka low valence. That's what I like to think. Do we know? We don't. That's the reality. We just don't know. International has a very high spread and it's in the middle, so maybe they only trained it on English music. International. Yes. Very high spread. It's a very good observation, Ali. It's possible that they only trained the valence on English music. Certainly. If they trained it with a lot of lyrical dependency, then a lot of the natural language libraries are only available in English in machine learning. Other languages are quite difficult, like German. As I work for a media company, so we do a lot of natural language processing, and the German stuff is very challenging. So rock, for example, is interesting, right? Because rock, for me, there are happy and sad rock songs. And rock is one of those genres, just like a huge spread. And that's quite well reflected here. Quite well reflected here. So I have to say, chat, I'm quite happy with this result. I'm quite happy with this result. I'm not at all surprised. There are some things here that are hard to explain, like spoken. I could see how some spoken could be angry, but I just can't imagine for the life of me what spoken tracks could be that angry. There's a caveat though, chat. And there's a huge caveat to this. Actually, there's two. Number one, we don't know how valence is derived. Ali already mentioned this. Because we don't know how valence is derived, we can only do limited diagnosis of what the data actually means. And that is an important thing to remember, because data carries value depending on how it's interpreted. We can't just say this data is worth X or this data means X. It doesn't work that way. It's about interpretation. I could say that folk music, if I wrote somewhere folk music had an average score of 0.51, therefore folk music is generally agreeable. That may be an interpretation, but someone else may come along, one of you in chat may come along and say, listen, folk music has a massive spread of 0.094 minimum and 0.94 maximum. Folk music is both very upsetting and can be very cheerful, depending on the track. That's the first thing. The second thing is particular to how we have calculated this valence score. We have taken it based on the genre from the artist. We don't have a data set where the genre for each track is provided. If we look at this data set, full GB, we can see there's a track ID, a track name, duration, danceability, blah, 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 blah. And you see there's a valence score for each track. But there isn't a genre for each track. There's a genre for each artist for each track. So you see here, when we have this song particular, let's look at this one. En la Huela del Querer remasterizado from 1922, right? There's one artist, and it's been classified in the artist has been classified, Ignacio Corsini has been classified as Tango Vintage Tango. That doesn't mean that this track is Tango or Vintage Tango. It just doesn't mean that. Now, I'd like to believe that if an artist such as let's go to the end of the database, Snoop Dogg has these classifications: G-Funk, gangster rap, hip-hop, pop rap, rap, West Coast rap, that most probably those tracks are going to be echeloned into hip hop or rap in our analysis. If we look at this thing, they're going to be somewhere most probably in hip hop. Again, they could be double counted for valence. It may count towards both, which is also fine for the purpose of our analysis. But bear those two things in mind here. This is not Spotify music is in general angry or something like that. Now, we haven't looked at the amount of tracks that conform because some tracks are counted as duplicate. It would have been cool to know if Spotify's library in general has more low valence tracks or high valence tracks. But the way that we could do that is just by looking at this data set here, ignoring the genre for the moment here, and just looking at the number of tracks that have what's the spread of valence, right? And that's just simple binning. That's just simple binning. If we want to do that, we could do that. It takes 2 seconds. We have a very simple binning. So it would be something like valence distribution among all tracks. So we do bind. Oh, I have to do a with clause here. So we do count. Oh, that's from data frames. From Spotify. We can do tracks full now, because actually we have the full data set. This could be interesting. It's pretty big, but why not? Oh, right, those are not unique, but that's okay. We'll just do distincts. We'll just do distincts. So if we do ID, which is the track ID, and then there's a valence here somewhere. Valence. So what we'll do is we'll do count distinct ID. Float select count distinct ID from Spotify.tracks full. I've just been re-welcomed to my chat room, so I'm not sure if I got disconnected briefly. Someone said something. Tom Waits, what's he building in there? Sounds pretty angry, or at least paranoid. Did you see someone building something angry? Yeah, there's some. It will be interesting to see by artists as well, but that's a little bit more complicated to do. But that's something we could do, Ali. Yeah. So interesting stuff here. Percentage of results, floor, valence, into bins of 0.1 because it's you know, it's a 0 to 1 value, so we're going to make 10 bins. And Spotify tracks full. That was in reference to what spoken word tracks sound angry. Poetry can be anything. Yeah, this is true. Poetry can be angry. So let's see what the bin results look like. So we should get 10 bins. Oh, right. This is by artist. This should be interesting. This is a computationally heavy query, because right now, I don't know if there's lag with audio or video. Right now, this track's full is 16.5 million rows. And what it's doing in the background is doing 2 separate counts plus a floor function on that 16.5 million row dataset. So understandably, let's just do the GB one for now. I think this is going to take way too long to compute. But I can do it off stream and tell you about it on Friday, for example. Full GB. This should not take nearly as long. ID does not exist. Is it track ID? Track ID. And I think I called it track valence as well. Track valence. There we go. That was a lot faster. So here's the distribution. Here's the distribution. And now that we have this query and we know it works, what we can do is we can actually plop this into Metabase, because you can write SQL in Metabase. Isn't that cool? So you just do like this. Boop. And now we can just visualize bar chart. X is the bin and Y is percentage. So this is the distribution of the valence. Do you have an instrumental category that could reveal if it is based on lyrics or melody key scale? So the tracks are clustered in valence, but the artist's genre is what comes through. So I don't know if the tracks are instrumental or not. I just know if the artist does instrumental, which is kind of, that's a really difficult one, because a lot of artists will have like an album and then they'll have a couple tracks at the end which are maybe just instrumentals of their tracks. So that makes it really, really challenging. But you can see here, this is the percentage distribution of tracks. The valence algorithm seems to be relatively well trained, because there isn't like a huge difference. There is a massive drop off for one. Like, there's not a lot of tracks that are extremely euphoric. There's also still quite a few tracks that are quite angry, like 5%. It's not that much. That being said, it is well distributed. It's not normally distributed, but it's well distributed. So it's an interesting topic. When I was searching today for this kind of data to use, I had searched for this 163 genres name and parent, and one of the results that came up was actually really interesting. It was, I need to use quotes here. Is it this one? Yeah, great. Awesome. Thank you so much. It came up in like, let me just blur this just in case. There's like some weird Google results sometimes when you do this. There was a thing where they analyzed. Yeah, great. Another one. There was like an algorithm that they did. I think it was, I need to look, because they wanted to use YouTube views. Good thing I blurred, because this stuff would get me banned from Twitch for like looking at stupid stuff. Anyway, I'm not gonna, I'll have to find it later. Essentially, maybe we should just anyway go towards yeah, essentially what it was a study was like a research paper, where they had tried to predict the success of songs based on past viewership on YouTube. It was interesting. They used some of the information here from the FMA, from this database that I used to see if they could predict the success of songs. I mean, they needed to pull down the YouTube stuff too, right? But yeah, it's a really interesting topic, and overall it's quite complicated, right? Because, you know, without doing kind of any machine level analysis, right? What we're doing here is just human analysis using code, but we're still analyzing it as a human based on what we input. Machines can be trained in a certain way, and it's not what we're doing here. Short of doing that, some things might fall short. Like, we might not be able to derive what we could from this analysis, let's say. But I like to think that it's cooler this way. I do think there's a case for machine learning. There's a lot of things I've done together with data scientists where we've trained various algorithms to do certain things. But I like the human component. I like the fact where we can talk about whether something should be more classified as pop or rock, and a machine learning algorithm might just classify it the way it sees fit. And in a kind of black box model scenario, you won't know which it chose. You won't know why. Rather, you'll know what it chose, but you don't know why. And here, everything is explainable. You can even use explain in your query as a function if you want. So yeah, chat. It's been a long night for me. We are going to roll the outro. And that means we have some words to say as well. I always like to end my stream on a high note with a lot of positivity, because sometimes the stuff that we're doing is really complicated, or we get really into the nitty-gritty stuff. But I like to end the stream by saying thank you. Thank you to everyone here who's been watching. Thank you to everyone who contributes in any way possible. That's if you're just chatting, if you're lurking, watching the stream, doesn't matter. In particular, I would like to thank also new followers: Fletcher Quest, Aisha Codes, Nahui, Mokakota, Odet Nerd, Cat Does Maths, Paul Fervoy. Thank you as well, Ali, for the follow. I appreciate it. Ian, thank you for the cheers. Rick Astley, Stan, thank you for the cheers. They are very appreciated, but of course, never necessary. We will go raid. Of course, we always raid at the end of stream. If you want to continue watching someone in science and tech, we are definitely going to raid someone in science and tech. So do stick around. I'm just going to have a peek and make sure that we raid someone who's high quality. Ali says oversight in AI is definitely something that interests me. I didn't see where this was going until the end. I like to keep it interesting. We are going to be raiding a good friend of ours, which is Odet Nerd. Keeping the views in science and tech. So I hope you all had a good time today on stream. And yeah, I really look forward to next stream on Friday, where we'll be doing something else. That's all I have to say for now. I like to keep them a little bit of a secret. So do enjoy Odet Nerd's stream. Very cool guy. Definitely, if you haven't checked him out yet, stay on board for the raid. And I'll see you next time.